Hi friends, I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead, and I am here to share herbal and aromatic and natural living tips for you to help you be more self-reliant and live a healthier life, which is what we do in our house and on our homestead. So I thought I would pop in here. I was just making some herbal teas and things and reviewing an article that I had written way back in 2018 about kitchen spices that also double as medicinal herbs. And I thought I would just do a really quick rundown here of 14 of my favorites. This isn't all of them by any means. There are so many more, but this is going to give you an idea of how your kitchen can serve as a home pharmacy. Okay, so first off, let's start with anise. Anise, some people call it anise and some people call it anise. I kind of do it both ways, depending on my mood. Anise is an excellent plant with a beautiful, beautiful smell. Oh, I can't help but smell it. And it usually looks like a little star. Let me see if I can find a whole one in here so you can see it. But it is warming, it's stimulating, it is excellent for the digestive tract. If you're making your own herbal tea blends, it can add a touch of sweetness without being overly sweet. It's really helpful and it stimulates the actions of the other herbs. It also supports healthy lactation. So it's really a nice herb for nursing moms, and it's helpful for the respiratory system as well. So I love anise. And I just want to mention that many of these more aromatic herbs also have essential oils that go along with them too. So you can use both the herbs and the essential oils, and that's always really helpful. Okay, next up, we've got black pepper. Yeah, just plain old black pepper. Black pepper is warming. It enhances your circulatory system. It's actually known as the king of herbs in India. They use it in everything. It contains a chemical called piperine, and piperine is helpful, and we'll talk about turmeric in a minute, but it's helpful for getting the curcumin that's in the turmeric into your body's cells, because curcumin isn't really all that bioavailable, but the piperine in black pepper helps it along. That's why you'll often find the two in combination with each other. But black pepper is wonderful for supporting the immune system, the respiratory system. It's an analgesic, it's a pain reliever. Black pepper essential oil is really great, used on sore joints and muscles, diluted, of course, the right way. But I love black pepper. Next up is cardamom. Where's my cardamom? Cardamom pods. Cardamom is a spice. Also, you can get the essential oil. I never let myself run out of either the herb or the essential oil. And these are the pods. And oh my goodness, they smell so good. But inside these little pods are little black seeds. And the seeds are what give cardamom its power. Cardamom is exceptional as an expectorant, as a respiratory aid. It helps open nasal passages. It contains a chemical called 1,8-cineol, which is also contained in the essential oil. And that's one of the reasons why it works so well in that regard. If you suffer from a stomach that's high in acid or too much acidity in your digestive tract, cardamom is the herb you want to use for that. And another great thing about cardamom is it helps with bloating and flatulence. Even with the essential oil, if you dilute it in some carrier oil and maybe add a little fennel or ginger with it, rub it on your abdomen. It's amazing the relief you can get with that. Otherwise, just drink the tea or add it to your food. Super helpful herb. Next up is cayenne pepper. These are dried from our garden last year. I try to grow as many of the herbs and spices that we use as I can, but we live in North Idaho, and so a lot of these herbs and spices, as you can see, are coming from across the globe. Cinnamon, cloves, things like this, cardamom. Oftentimes, it's really hard to grow them in a northern climate, but peppers, we can do this, especially if we start the seeds indoors every year, which we've got a bunch going now. But cayenne, and here's the powder. Love cayenne powder. Cayenne is another herb that I won't let ourselves run out of in any way, shape, or form. I love cayenne pepper. I know it's hot, it's very spicy, but it has so many wonderful medicinal uses that we just keep it around all the time. So one of the things that we use cayenne pepper for is as a styptic or a hemostat. It helps stop bleeding really quickly. So if you get a wound or a cut and it's the kind that just is bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, cayenne pepper powder just laid on that wound can actually help it stop bleeding. I actually wrote an article about that on my website, how to make your own Quickclot, using things you probably have. Cayenne pepper is one of the ingredients in homemade Quickclot. I'll link to that above if you're interested in taking a look at how to make your own Quickclot and what to have around in case you have a real bleeding problem. Cayenne pepper contains a chemical called capsaicin, and capsaicin is incredibly healing in so many ways. In fact, scientists have done studies where when people with arthritis use a capsaicin or cayenne salve on their joints, it actually helps to get into the joints because everything we put on our skin gets absorbed into our bloodstream to an extent. But the capsaicin can actually help soothe and help that arthritis condition feel better, and perhaps maybe even support the body in healing up the joints. So cayenne pepper is wonderful. It also supports the metabolism. So if you take a little bit of the tincture or just add a little pinch to your tea, it can help you lose some weight. And it's wonderfully helpful for metabolic processes too. So I just love cayenne pepper, as you can see, for so many reasons. Next up is cinnamon. Right? Cinnamon. Don't we all just love cinnamon? Cinnamon is a sweet herb. It's full of mucilage, which means it contains compounds that can coat and soothe the throat, the digestive tract. It's just an excellent herb to have around. I like to, again, have it in multiple forms. So here I've got cinnamon sticks, and here I've got cinnamon that's been cut and sifted. I like to use this in my herbal teas. You can also just take the sticks and chop them up and get smaller pieces. And then, of course, there's cinnamon powder. There is evidence that it's really helpful for supporting and balancing blood sugar levels or glucose levels in your body. So talk to your doctor about that if that sounds like something you want to try. You do need to have the Ceylon cinnamon if you plan to use it therapeutically for that reason. The cassia cinnamon, which is most common in the grocery stores, is what most people end up with. But I love to have cinnamon on hand. There's more evidence on cinnamon too that it may actually help reduce bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol, and it's just an overall supportive herb for the body. I love it so much. I put it in my coffee every single morning, and it's often an herb I add to my herbal teas as well. It just is delicious and so supportive for whole body health. Really wonderful. Next up, another spice. We have cloves. Cloves, I'm gonna smell these too. Cloves, and I buy them whole. In whole form. You can buy clove powder. You can get them in whole form, the little buds like this. And you can, guess what? Get the essential oil as well. Clove essential oil, as you probably know, is really numbing, and it's helpful if you have a toothache or something like that. It's really helpful. Cloves in general are great. They're antifungal. Isn't that great? We have spices that can help us with fungal infections, and I just think that's fabulous. They disinfect and they deodorize. In fact, the essential oil is one of the ingredients in the very popular Thieves type blends, which clean the air and support the immune system. So cloves are really helpful for this. They have mild disinfectant qualities, and of course for oral health. So when I'm making a homemade mouthwash, which I'm not sure if I have a YouTube video on the mouthwash. If I do, I'll link it above, but I do have it on my website. And I can link that, whichever one I have, I'll link it up there so you can take a look at that. But cloves are very helpful for oral health in general. So I love using cloves in my mouthwash formulations. Another thing cloves are really helpful with are as an analgesic. Obviously, they're numbing. They have a numbing effect, especially in the mouth. But when used in conjunction with other herbs like ginger or black pepper, especially if you want to use the essential oil blends and put them in a carrier oil and rub them onto sore muscles in areas like this, it really has a wonderful, strong analgesic effect. And I just think it's amazing how many of these herbs are analgesics. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little rundown of a few different culinary herbs that you probably have in your kitchen right now and how you can use them for your health and wellness. If you're really fascinated and interested in this, you should consider taking my course, Ditch the Drugstore. In Ditch the Drugstore, I teach my students how to build their own home apothecary that's personalized for them. So it's not some generic, here's 15 remedies, kind of a course. No, we dig deep. You actually get to think about your family and what you guys need in your family, and I help you put it together over a period of a few weeks. At the end of that very few weeks, you've got a super home apothecary that is easy to use, and it's at your fingertips, and it's all natural. So consider joining us for Ditch the Drugstore next time I open it. You can get on the wait list in the link below in the description. Just click where it says show more and it'll be there. All right, I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please take advantage of my free herbal remedy guide and cheat sheet. You also might want my How to Relax Using Herbs guide. It's actually a book. It's a digital book that's 24 pages long. It contains recipes, so you can pick those up in the links below. All right, I hope you enjoyed this.